Hey everyone, my name is Sam. Thanks for checking out this video. If you get to the end, like it, then subscribe, bell notification, and give the video a thumbs up. So today I was kind of like, I wanted to do something cover related, and like there has been, if you are in the TBR and Beyond group, I'm sorry, there have been so many cover reveals in the last like just month, and I think all of it really just feels overwhelming as well because September is really not that far away. And so many books got delayed because of COVID and are getting September release dates, and September's already busy enough to begin with. So like, I just feel like it's all adding up. But I feel like I had done a cover reveals or thoughts on cover reveals video like not all that long ago. So instead I was like, why don't we do like a, based on the cover reveals that have come out in the last little bit, let's do like a, I don't know, something like a upcoming books I'd like die for, like I'd end it all for. Like I just want them for a variety of reasons, many of which are the covers. So let's just talk about some of them. Also, I'm just trying to get comfortable in my new setup. Hi. I feel like also I've noticed in the last like year or so I've gotten, I don't know if burned out's the right word, but I just feel like a lot of YA books that have been coming out are kind of the same premise, plot, and conflicts a lot of the time. So I really have been branching out a lot more into middle grade and adult, and I've just gotten a lot more comfortable in the genre, specifically with like romances, whether they're historical or contemporary settings. I think I've found, you know, I've been able to kind of weed my way through and find the things of them that I really like. So I think I can see that influenced in the books that I am excited for in the future with these covers. First up, oh, I'm so excited. Play of Shadows got a cover reveal from Sebastian de Castell. We stan him. If you like swashbuckling, oh my god. Just, oh my god. And I think this is the book he was talking about in January when I met him, I want to say. I've met him a couple times. His wife is a librarian in Canada, so I do normally see him in Toronto at the conference I go to in January. And he was there this past year at the actual conference. He normally does like book tour stops at stores in Toronto, but this time he was at the actual conference. So I touched base with him, and I think this is the one he was talking about. So it's set in the Trader's Blade world, but it's like messing with like dueling, and like I'm just so glad. Like I feel like swashbuckling is something that like it's just so rare in authors being able to do it and do it well, and it come translate to me. I love just how he writes. I love the characters he have. I love the world that he has established, and I'm so freaking excited. The cover looks awesome. I'm so excited, and I can't wait to pick this up. I probably have to get it through Book Depository again, because I think this is the hotkey book cover, and in Canada we give him very stupid basic bitch covers. But I'm just glad they started carrying him because he's a Canadian author, and we didn't have him in Indigo stores for years. And I'm like, the fuck? But we also didn't carry Mexican Gothic in any Indigo stores. Bitch, like a New York Times bestsellers, why didn't you have that in stores? What is wrong with you? Even like large hubs, I don't understand. And they had to have enough stock for it to have sold enough to hit New York Times bestseller. I don't understand. I just found out like literally like this past week that this was coming out, and I like kind of mini shrieked when I saw the cover. To Love and To Loathe by Martha Waters. I don't know how to explain my love for To Have and To Hoax. I read To Have and To Hoax like a month or two ago, and it is like the Gilmore Girls like pettiness dialogue. It is a giant game of Victorian set chicken between a romantic couple between a married couple who has like kind of fallen out of love with each other, but they still want to like bang it out, and like, oh, it's so good, and like the pettiness is just so. I am guessing based on the title of this, it's going to continue. I am curious though why we kept with the same title structure, but like To Love and To Loathe and To Have and To Hoax, but it's not a series from what I can tell online, and they changed the cover to be more cartoony illustrated, which I do love. I know romances, especially adult romances, are definitely moving in that direction. Basically everything that comes out now is that sort of illustrations, which I love. I was just confused why they didn't, maybe they'll do a recover for To Have and To Hoax, even though I love the purple. I don't know. I just thought that was interesting. But I am so incredibly excited. I'm going to follow this author for the foreseeable future. I'm just pettiness. Pettiness in the historical fiction is this sweet niche that I am finding romantic books in, and there's a couple sexy saucy scenes. So I'm very excited for this one. Okay, this book like this cover revealed, like just came out like this past week I think. Lore by Alexandra Bracken. So I read the first book in the Darkest Mind series. I didn't mind it. It was pretty good. I just didn't read the rest of the series because I think I'm just out of that like YA dystopian interest in my reading. But I read her Prosper Redding series and freaking love that series. It's so it's so freaking good. Especially the audiobook narration in that series is amazing, but just like the story as a whole and the characters, I love it. Love it so much. So, Lore. It looks like we're getting a Medusa. And I feel like she's a really underused character, or poorly used character. Because like all we know is like that like she has the snakes, and if you look her in the eye, and she's always kind of cast as a villain because she turns people to stone. But I'm like, didn't like she get like raped or something like that in her origin story, but like we just gloss over that? I'm like, I'd be kind of a bitch too then. So like I'm curious to see how this is going to be kind of incorporated, and I'm curious to see what the actual book is going to look like. This is a book that will either look incredibly basic if they don't do anything with it, but if they like foil the gold or lift it, I think it'll look really cool. So I really like the white aesthetic of like the statues and the marbling. I really like that. I just really hope they do something special, I guess, with the actual physical copies, and just don't put like a plain white under dust jacket and leave it at that, because I just can't handle that anymore. I'm really excited about this one though, especially as soon as I saw the cover I went, oh, Medusa, oh damn yes. And I'm just glad we're just doing retellings or messing with things that are not fucking Beauty and the Beast right now. Speaking of Beauty and the Beast, the third cover for Bridget Kemmerer's series, The Cursebreakers, came out, A Vow So Bold and Deadly. I haven't actually even managed to find the second book yet. They don't carry it in the Indigo stores anywhere I've been. I'm so freaking frustrated. And then I've been trying to watch for it on Book Outlet when I place orders, and then it just hasn't been on there, and I'm just getting very frustrated. But I was so sure it was going to be purple. I don't know why. I was so freaking sure. I really liked, despite my dislike of Beauty and the Beast, I really did like. I feel like the first book of this series really did bring something a little bit different, and the writing was just really strong. And it was done, like, it was changed enough that I was like, oh, okay, I haven't necessarily read this exact retelling before. And so I was so freaking sure it was gonna be purple. I don't exactly know why. Maybe it's because blue, green, I don't know. But it's this like raspberry red. I love the red. The red looks so cool with like the forest and like, I don't know if it's like leaning into like being like bloody or something. I don't know, but I really like it. I'm also interested in like, from a graphic design perspective, how, because the covers aren't necessarily like super unique, whereas like, I feel like a lot of series covers, when they do it, like there's like a template and they mess with everything within that template, but everything stays in the same like sort of layout. But this one, I feel like they've literally just changed the title and the background cover, and everything's been like kind of the same, but it doesn't bother me. Like it still does somehow look like the same cohesive series, and that like, I don't know, it's just kind of interesting that they don't do anything wildly different between the covers, and it works for me. Oh my god, they released the cover for Wild Lore, The Apprentice, what's it, The Accidental Apprentice, and I'm so freaking excited for this book. Okay, it was pitched as Nevermore meets Pokemon. Already, I'm fucking done. I am done. Like, I need this. I will end it all. I will give my dogs away. I will give people's firstborn children away, because I don't have children. I don't think I want them. But, like, what I would do for this book, and then I saw the cover reveal, and it's just so precious, and it oozes Nevermore vibes. It oozes that. And, like, Nevermore and Pokemon are something that I'm like, I didn't think of combining those ever, but, like, it should be combined. Like, I'm high-key, like, yes, I want this. And it seems like we get the animal companion thing. These are just, like, all these elements combined. I'm like, yes, give this to me, please. And honestly, Ace of Shades, I love that book so much. I didn't like Daughter of Burning City, but I've read Ace of Shades, love, King of Fools, also really enjoyed, and the third one, Queen of Volts, isn't out yet, but I am very excited to get that when it does come out, and I'm just excited that she's continuing on. I am kind of like, I was concerned that maybe they were going to try and like mess more with the Ace of Shades world, but I was like, I don't know that they could really do that. I don't want them to force it and then pull like a Suzanne Collins or like whatever they're doing in the Twilight books, that write another book that like it wasn't planned, so it wasn't built into the plot, and then it's forced to break certain things of the original story in order to fit, in order to just marketing appeasement. But I'm glad that they went a new realm, and they're giving her this opportunity to go into another age group. I'm so excited for this book. Pokemon meets Nevermore is something I just need. So they released a new cover, I think it's the Australian covers, for Garth Nix's Sabriel series. Now, I don't know what happened, but I didn't hear of this book until I was an adult. Like, I don't remember even seeing the covers anywhere. So, in the past few years, I've seen, like, the old covers floating around. I'm like, those look very dated covers. But, like, I love that one. I love this new one. It gives me, like, I don't want to say anime vibes, but, like, I don't know, it just, like, it's a very, very modern relaunch, and I think that's just the first book. I believe they're going to be staggering the new cover reveals for the rest of the series over the next, like, year or so. I'm very high-key interested in reading that series before. It was on my, like, yeah, if you ever have time, read it sort of books, because everyone seems to have read it and enjoyed it, but I don't know that it was ever going to move off of that. But then with this cover, I was like, okay, no, maybe I should read it, and then I can, like, if I really like it, buy the Aussie covers, because I really had no incentive. I wasn't going to buy the old covers. They're just not interesting. They don't appeal to me. They aren't aesthetically anything to me. Whereas this one, I'm very interested in. It gives me Poppy War vibes a little bit, because I think just the white background and then the strong female on the cover, I think it's just the layout and the aesthetics of that, and I love the Poppy War series, so maybe that's influencing me a little bit. But, like, I am super, super excited to see what the, and I know it's Australian, so it's only going to be paperback, but I'm really curious to see what it does look like physical. You won't have the underdust jacket or anything like that, but, like, I'm very, very curious to see what this ends up looking like. I'm incredibly peaked interest in this series, which is what a cover relaunch really should do when you're redoing covers for such a, like, an older series, which it really is. I think it was around when I was, you know, my early teens, so it's like 20-ish years old up now, I think, and, like, you need to re-peak that interest in, like, the new wave of people that either missed it or are now in that age demographic, and I think this was a really solid cover upgrade for that. The way I shrieked when I saw the cover of In Deeper Waters. I hadn't heard of this book, which I'm kind of high-key offended that I hadn't, but, like, it's gay pirates. And that has been something I think we've all been looking for. In the last, I don't know, 3-4 years, when, like, Daughter of the Pirate King came out, which, like, in the YA community, that book is, like, just, like, boom, like, it was just there. Trisha Levenseller is, like, so loved now because of that series. And I was like, pirates, awesome, we're getting more of those, like, badassy pirates. And then, really looking around, I was like, wow, we don't really have a ton of books that are, like, YA fiction about pirates, as much as I thought there would be. And then These Rebel Waves, which I do love that series, was marketed as gay pirates, and everyone lost their damn mind. Until ARCs came out, people were like, there's no gay pirates in this. And everyone got pissed and super annoyed and frustrated. And also, just don't do marketing like that. But this looks like it has gay pirates. On the cover alone. The color aesthetic is this, just like, and this will look good no matter what they're fucking printed on. Also, they really should do a tie-dye underdust jacket, and I know it's possible because they did it on Emily R. King's books, okay? So, like, there's no reason for this underdust jacket to not be incredibly, like, pretty between, like, an orange to pink tie-dye or something like that. Oh, it'd be so freaking pretty. I'm so excited. I just need gay pirates. I need this book. It just looks so good. Just from the cover alone. It's going to be an absolute cover pre-order buy. I don't care that it's a debut author that I've never read anything from. I do not care. It would have to be in, like, J.K. Rowling offensive of a book for me to, like, not want it, even if it sucks at the end of this book, okay? It would have to be J.K. Rowling turf offensive, okay? Okay, so this isn't, I think, a new cover, but I just found it a couple weeks ago, a lot so, and I just by fluke found it on this article that, I don't even remember what article it was, but it was, like, Indigenous Authors, and I was like, oh, a cover I haven't seen. Whenever they do those stupid articles of, like, oh, Indigenous Author, it's either, like, super indie publishers that you will never see in the bookstore, that it's impossible to find out where to buy it online, and they're super expensive, and the covers look like monographs from universities. Like, it's never anything, like, hella pretty. So finding YA books, YA fiction that is from an Indigenous author, and finding an article that has a book that I have already not seen, like, 4 other places, is rare. And honestly, the cover looks beautiful. It also owns asexual owned voices, I believe. In addition to being Indigenous owned voices, I'm so incredibly excited. The cover, just something, I don't know if it's, like, the style of the illustrations or the colors, but, like, it just, I got goosebumps when I looked at it. I was so freaking excited. Like, I don't know, I'm just insanely excited, and I really, really want to read this. I would end it all for it. actually, I'm going to read the summary because it's not as well known as a book, and I just want to make sure, especially to promote Indigenous authors. Imagine an America very similar to your own. It's got homework, best friends, and pistachio ice cream. Oh, I love pistachio ice cream. There are many differences. This America has been shaped dramatically by magic monsters and knowledge and legends of its people, those indigenous and those not. Some of those forces are charmingly everyday, like the ability to make an orb of light appear or travel across the world through rings of fungi, but other forces are less charming and should never be seen and should never see the light of day. Alazzo lives in the slightly stranger America. She can raise the ghosts of dead animals, a skill passed down through generations of Lipan Apache family. Her beloved cousin, when I say Indigenous owned voices, it's Lipan Apache Indigenous owned voices. So avoid homogenizing all Indigenous cultures, because Cree culture is different from like Apache culture, and like Cree cultures, depending on where you are geographically, are different as well. Her beloved cousin has been murdered in a town that wants no prying eyes, but she's going to pry. The picture-perfect facade of Willoughby masks gruesome secrets, and she will rely on her wits, skills, friends to tear off the masks and protect her family. This just has a lot of elements that I'm really excited for. And there's also a credited illustrator on the cover, so I'm really curious how the illustrations are going to be incorporated, because I feel like one thing that a lot of Indigenous cultures do have in common is oral versus art versus like written storytelling. It's very different, so I'm really excited to see how the illustrations are going to be incorporated. Okay, I feel like this is so heavily influenced by the cover, and another one that I found the cover like well after it was revealed. I just hadn't found it. Spoiler alert, by Olivia Date. I was gonna say Jade. Olivia Date. Having a plus size girl on the cover is just still not all that common. And even when they do something like I'll Be Gone, or I'll Be the One, which I just read the other week, which I really enjoyed. But even then I'm like, I know that's plus size in Korean eyes, but when I think of myself, I'm like, oh no, she's still skinny, right? So I think having a variation of what exactly is plus size is important. And the cover, though, just the way that she's shaped, I was like, oh my god, I kind of look like that. I have like kind of regular, I have wider shoulders, and then my waist is, and then it's like my hips and my thighs go out. And I'm like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like and seeing it illustrated, I feel like is different because it's done intentional versus like finding a stock photo or a picture of someone. So I just feel like it's kind of, I'm excited that we're getting more of that representation, you know what I mean? And I just like the cover looks very cheesy and romantic-y and sweet, and I know they're supposed to meet at like a Comic-Con, and like, I never think of myself as being like a Comic-Con-y fandom-y person, but like, I meet very few people that I live up here, where I do live, that like have anything in common with me, because they all like, it's just like general like sports and oil and politics up here. I'm like, does anyone like read or watch like this TV show? Or like, that's where I find the commonality with people, and it just doesn't really, people like that just don't seem to exist up here with those similar interests. So seeing that, it's just kind of like nostalgia of like, oh, maybe this will happen one day. And I just like the I like the blues on the cover, or the teal, or whatever the color that is technically. I really like it. The way I lost my mind when I saw the cover for Infinity Quartz. I just read Harley in the Sky, right? That's what it's called, by Akemi Dawn Bowman. That was the first book of hers that I have read. I think she has 3 previous books that came out that have like awards for like quality of writing and all these other things that people just love. And I do think I want to get to those. I think the hard thing with them is they don't have audiobooks, and I don't think really many of our libraries have physical books of it either. So I'm like, that's kind of how I read. So I will find a way to read them. But this is her series, which was marketed as Warcross meets Black Mirror, which like, and honestly, the aesthetic of this, I don't know what it's called, but like the filter on top of it, basically, if it was an Instagram photo, reminds me a lot of a Love Boat Taipei, just that like kind of glamourous-y like blurring of everything. It looks very vintagey. I don't know, like just like how the way that like the title words are like kind of fuzzied on the corner, you know what I mean? It just looks different. The pink and the raspberry red, and like, oh, that color, and then like the floating bubbles and her like illuminate. It's very aesthetically pleasing to me, like just incredibly. Like I was already high-key interested in it, and then like just the cover, and I didn't notice until like the 5th time I was watching it, but she's holding a knife behind her back too, and I was like, oh, bitch, that sounds amazing, because I wasn't sure what the heck a cover would look like that was like Warcross meets Black Mirror. Like, that's just a weird combo for me to think of. But yeah, too. I want to read the summary because another one that people don't seem to know her name all that well. 18-year-old Nami Miyamoto is certain her life is just beginning. She has a great family, just graduated high school, and is on her way to a party where her entire class is waiting for her, including, most importantly, the boy she's been in love with for years. The only problem, she's murdered before she gets there. Doesn't it happen to us all? When she wakes up, she learns that she's in a place called Infinity, where human consciousness goes, where physical bodies die. She quickly discovers that Ophelia, a virtual assistant widely used by humans on Earth, has taken over the afterlife and is now posing as a queen, forcing humans into servitude, and the way she's been forced to serve the entire world. Even worse, Ophelia is inching closer and closer to accomplishing her grand plans of eradicating human existence once and for all. They have to bring down Ophelia. The fact that they have a character named Ophelia, my Shakespeare heart just, like, lost it. Like, and then the cover, and then it being this author that I just read and really, really liked the writing of, I was like, yeah, I'll end it all. I would love an arc of this. I just want really to just touch this. And it's annoying. Yeah, I need to touch it. Very quickly, Katie Henry's new book got a cover. I love that we're continuing this cover theme of books with food on them, that they have kind of a general same layout, but they change colors. They've changed the font, I think, on all of them, but they have this, like, single piece of food, and it always seems to tie into it. And I know this book is supposed to be about a girl who becomes a stand-up comedian, so having a banana peel really does seem to, at first I was like, what? And then I was like, remembered, I was like, oh, what the book is about. Oh, that makes sense. So I'm very excited to see what she comes up with, and I will definitely be picking. You all need to read Heretics Anonymous. It's so good. I lost my damn mind when I saw the cover for The Box in the Woods. It is Maureen Johnson's new series. I know a bunch of people were really confused. I love that we're getting purple because I thought we were going to get purple in the original series. It is technically in the Truly Devious world. We are getting Stevie. Everyone wants her to just switch boyfriends with how she ended up in the Hand on the Wall, or The Clock on the Wall. But, wait, whatever the third book was. So we're getting Stevie, who's a detective in the original series, but spinning off that she's in the same world, the same character, but she's going to have, like, her own mystery, which I love. I love that we're getting this, even if it's just a standalone. I don't know if they're going to have a whole spin-off series, depending on how popular it is, but I'm really, really excited because they established her as being this, like, the whole reason she went to that school was to be a detective and to investigate, and I want to see her outside of that realm, to see everything that she got out of that school in that case that is the Truly Devious case. So I'm very, very excited about this, and it being purple is just... I would end it all for anything to do with this book, and when I found out that it was existing, it is very rare where I'm like, this spin-off needs to exist when they've done that to a series. Normally it breaks the plot, as you've said, from the original series, but I am so excited for this. Witches Steeped in Gold has one of the most confusingly pretty covers I've ever seen in a really long time, and I will be furious if they print this on matte, with no gloss, with no nothing on it. You need to have this gold lifted. All of this shit needs to be lifted and glossy and metallic-y, and it needs to be in a goddamn book box with a special edition, and the UK needs to have a hella pretty cover. If they do this book dirty, I will be so angry with that cover, and just the premise sounds awesome, and getting black voices, again, with debuts. And I know I have a feeling, just based on, like, some of the dates of releases, the cover reveals that are coming out for books that aren't it doesn't quite line up with, like, why is the cover being released so early when the date for publication is so far away. I think it is because of just what's going on in the world right now, of being like, we want to amplify black voices, which I think it makes sense. It's logical to me, and I think it is a good marketing move to say, okay, you guys want black voices, we'll show you. We've got these covers, these books are coming, put them on your list and be ready for them, instead of just kind of, you know, in a couple months when maybe things have not faded, because I don't know that this is ever going to fade, but, like, just when, you know, Jumanji hits level 8, when, I don't know, something else is going to light on fire, or we're in a world war or something like that. So I will be incredibly pissed off, though, if they're releasing these books with these just beautiful covers and then not doing anything with them. And this cover, okay, I'm kind of curious about this book because the cover reveal came out and I didn't think anything of it. And I was like, this is what the cover looks like, here, people. And then the amount of people were like, the dog's gonna die. And I was like, what? And, like, looked at the cover again and I was like, hold on. Do you guys not have dogs that would end it all for a dentabone? Like, my dogs would, like, crawl over broken glass if there was a dentabone at the end of it. They get one at the end of every night, and they get so damn excited, it's like crack to them. I don't know what they put in those things, but my dogs would absolutely fly through windows to get at it, okay? Like, I don't understand. Are my dogs weird? Hot British Boyfriend. Okay, I'm gonna read it for the damn title alone, but the cover, I love the illustrations. The illustrations remind me of precious moments. I don't know if I'm just pulling that out of my ass, but I link that to my childhood, but also it's like, this girl gets like screwed over and embarrassed in high school, so then she goes to England for like a summer or a semester or something like that, and you know, she's gonna get over him. It sounds like very stereotypical like YA, but I love everything about this cover. It's the illustration elements of it, it's the colors, it's the sitting on the freaking teacup, and like, it just looks so, it looks so precious. Okay, I didn't know this book was coming, and then it got the cover reveal, and me and my friend Meg read Speak Easy, Speak Love like 2 years ago, and that was like the last, like, Shakespeare retellings just don't happen often enough, and they're not marketed as heavily. They'll eventually be like, oh, and it's like kind of a retelling of like this like random like play that like, but not really, it's just struck. Yeah, no, Speak Easy, Speak Love is probably the last book that I've read that is like an outly, like, abundantly clearly a Shakespeare retelling. And when I found out that Roman and Jewel was a thing that was coming out, that's like, it's like Hamilton meets Romeo and Juliet, I was like, what the fuck? Why didn't I know this was happening? Also, the cover, oh, the red and the black and the, like, the light to dark and them looking at each other, the cross lovers is just oozing out of it. That shit's just oozing. And then the Roman and the Jewel, I like the name play, and the fact that it's like a messing with Broadway thing, that is just, with the peak, like, popularity of something like Hamilton, this is like just like the best time to be releasing a book like this. Is if this book is ever going to sell, it is going to be right now. But just like the cover and Shakespeare retellings, I'll just end it all for them, period, as a whole, to pick them up. The Theft of Sunlight. It's Inistar Kahani. It's the sequel to Thor. The reds and the raspberry pinks are, like, everyone's combining them and then adding in purple sometimes. I love the colors of that. I love that we're doing that. It's eventually what I want in my hair. I'm so excited because Thor was easily one of the best debuts I have read in a really, really long time, and definitely one of the best books I have read in 2020. I kept my arc of it. I am so happy that I have a finished copy of it. I am so beyond freaking excited for this sequel. Absolutely would end it all for this book. So they released the cover for The Bright and the Pale by Jessica Rubinkowski. I am really excited about this. This was originally blurbed as like The Bear and the Nightingale meets the Grisha trilogy, and I was like, bitch, what? Like, we're staying in Russia. That's my damn wheelhouse. If you don't know, I have an undergrad degree in history, and I originally was like, I'm gonna do the Tudors, and then in first year, I met the Russians and was like, why did people tell me Russian history was boring? They're assassinating each other nonstop and, like, pretending to be the fake Dominic, and, like, the Russian history is, like, mind-bogglingly fascinating. And so, I have gone to the bookstore constantly, been like, do you have anything like Grisha or The Bear and the Nightingale that's, like, in Russia-y? And they're always like, well, we have this or this. And I'm like, I've read those. And she's like, yeah, that's all we have. And it's infuriating. And the cover of it, it's going to look really boring if they don't do anything with it. But if they use a metallic-y, because there's like a rainbow element, like effect in the back, in the sky, that'll look really, really, really cool. And I want to be able to justify buying it. I think this is one YA book that I'm like, I will step back into the YA fantasy realm and risk it reading a book that I've already read before for this book. Speaking of Shakespeare retellings, an anthology. I knew this was coming, and I saw the cover and just, Madness Lies, we're getting an anthology of Shakespeare retellings. I'm hoping this will mean, like, more people will be like, oh, it's a popular thing, and start writing them, because I'm done with Beauty and the Beast retellings. I'm sorry, I'm not reading any more of them. So, like, you want to give me a Much Ado About Nothing retelling? Absolutely. I will throw all my damn money at you, in addition to an Atlantis retelling, which we've already established needs to happen, and it's not happening. Okay, Muse gives me, like, I don't know, some sort of dystopian movie. Island. It reminds me of Island. That's what it was. Do you remember, like, I don't know, 12 years ago when Scarlett Johansson and Ewan McGregor were on this movie called The Island, where they were all, like, robots, and if you won the lottery system, you got to, like, go to an island and, like, just live in, like, forever, like, amazingness, and then they end up finding out, spoiler alert, the movie is, like, 1 billion years old, I don't even care anymore, that actually the lottery system is when your name gets pulled, it's because you're a carbon copy, you've been made by someone who's rich in the real world, and they need an organ from you, essentially, so they lottery you, so you disappear from this world without knowing these people knowing, and then they, like, get rid of you and just use the body parts of you that they need. I don't know why, but that screams The Island beats 1984 in my brain. That cover, I also just love Brittany Muse. Not Brittany Muse. I love Brittany Cavallaro stuff that I have read. You all really underappreciated that Thelma and Louise book. But like, the time setting this book is, having something like, it sounds like the Chicago's World Fair, and I imagine then it's going to involve something to do with that psychopath. I'm very excited. And I think the last one, I'm so sorry if this video is incredibly long. I literally like wheedled down from like hundreds. The cover for A Universe of Wishes just came out, and I lost my damn mind when I freaking saw it. The authors alone that are happening in this, but like, it's an own voice. We need diverse campaign kind of anthology. But like, all of the authors, okay? You have Samira Ahmad, Jenny Balch, which is the only author I've never heard of, and I can't seem to find anything online, so she must be an unpublished right now, maybe working on something. Libba Bray, Danielle Clayton, Zoraida Cordova, Tessa Grattan, Kwame Mbalia, Anna Marie McLemore, Tochio Nyabuchi, Marky Oshiri, Natalie Porker, Rebecca Roanhorse, V.E. Schwab, Tara Sim, and Nick Stone. Like, the stack up of that, they're only missing Leigh Bardugo, basically, at that point. And, like, they seem to be having a variety of own voices, so I loved The Diviner so much. I'm just addicted to that series, so I'm going to keep following her on her way out, and I am starting to read The Great and Terrible Beauty, I think it is, next month, so I am very excited about that. So yeah, those are recent books that I have discovered recently, or that have recently had cover reveals that I would absolutely end it all for. I'd give away Your Firstborn, and maybe one of my dogs if they're being bitches to me at the time. So let me know if I missed any that you think I should be aware of. What are some that you would end it all for in this video or not in this video? Let me know. And you know, wear a mask, stay away from Florida, it seems, stay safe, Black Lives Matter, and have a wonderful day.